All right.
Okay, so we have more and more people. We can't see the presentation yet.
Yeah, not yet. Shall we start?
Yes, yes, we
All right.
should start.
I will.
Okay, well, welcome all. Thank you for joining us. The CS Education is very pleased to interact with all of you. My name is Hajar and I will be moderating this webinar. It is an honor to introduce today's presenter, Mr. Mohamed Zakour. I don't think he needs any introduction. I am guessing most of you already worked with him. He has been our lead ELT trainer since 2019. He has great experience, which makes him the best suited presenter for the topic. In today's webinar, we will be talking about Kidzone, the English textbook for primary school learners. The purpose of the webinar is to give you a clear view on how to use the textbooks and the resources that come with it. And finally, a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel starting this afternoon, and you can watch it with your fellow teachers, or you can watch it again if you didn't get something. Of course, if you have any questions, save them for later because Mr. Zakour will be taking them all in the end. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Hajar. I appreciate it. It's been always a pleasure being with you here.
Thank you.
In this platform, at least virtually, not physically.
Yeah.
You all know due to circumstances that you all know. And this is also thanks to DCS Education that offering us and hosting our webinar. They have a good platform. And if some people are not familiar with DCS Education, they are a young house based in Casablanca, specialized in ELT products and also English language teaching professional development for teachers. And they've been gaining ground and visibility all the last few years. We're very proud to be part of this young team, and welcome all to you, senior teachers and novice teachers alike. You are much welcome to this webinar. Actually, DCS Education hosted the webinar last week. It was about another syllabus called Top Kids. It's an amazing syllabus for young learners, Moroccan learners. And this one too, Kidzone, is one of their products, and it's been in the market for a couple of years now. We will talk in detail about it later on. So welcome again, everybody. Welcome for those who are with us here today, and welcome for those who are going to watch and see our recorded version of the webinar. Much welcome again. Some people are trying to log in. They're trying very hard to join us. I think they're having a hard time, but I recommend that they do it again because the technology, as you know, is unreliable, and you have to try again and again. And what happens quite often to all of us.
To those who are struggling with logging in, they can just click on the link and register.
Yeah. So that's what I tell them. I'm in. Oh,
they will be redirected automatically to the session.
Yeah. So I'm telling people to just register, as you said, Hajar, log in, and it'll be easier if, of course, connection is available. So welcome back again. As I said, the spotlight today will be on Kidzone. You will see the presentation now. We'll start by slide number 1, and then we'll move on step by step until we reach the end. And they are welcome to jot down notes if there are any notes, and then we will try as much as possible to satisfy your needs and quest your thirst for knowledge. We are here for that. We are paid for that. So Kidzone, as you know, is a bridge to English. I hope you see it. Can you see my slide, Hajar?
No, we can't.
Really?
No.
You can? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Now I'm going to share it with you. Share slides. So it's here. This one. Now?
Still, yes. Now we
Yeah,
can
yes.
see. Yeah.
All right. So Kidzone Bridge to English, as I said, the spotlight will be on this syllabus today. I call it Bridge to English and a safe way to English. Some people call it gateway. Other people might call it passage to English. I find it a safer way to English learning because it's easier. The foundation is there, laying the foundation and paving the way for a safe, consistent, professional, and substantial learning. That's why I'm trying to recommend this textbook here. I will try to defend the qualities. I will show you and try to convince you if you are novice with this syllabus now. For people who have been using it for a couple of years now, they're quite satisfied, and we will talk about their feedback later on during the presentation. All right, I'm trying to move on this, as I said, technology always breaks down here.
Just click on
Yeah,
your
I'm
or
clicking.
on the keyboard, anywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere on the keyboard, so I'm
Or
trying
the
to,
space button.
yeah. It takes some time to activate and heat up, I think. I don't know because it's a bit, so this is it. You can see the agenda now. Yeah.
Yeah, we can follow.
Yeah. So as you see, the agenda here is pretty spicy. There are 7 items. All of them are quite important, of equal importance. We'll start by introducing Kidzone series, which consists of 6 levels from grade 1 to grade 6. And in detail, we'll talk about each one of them. Then we move on to Kidzone and CFR, which is an acronym that stands for Common European Framework Reference for Languages. We'll talk about that, what it means, and where does Kidzone stand in that spectrum or that framework. Then item number 3 will be Kidzone key features. What are the main qualities of this kind of syllabus? Why are we defending? Why are we behind it and endorsing people, trying to persuade people to adopt it and use it in their classes? Then Kidzone and CLIL, which is the framework, new framework. I'll talk to you about it and why CLIL is being part of many syllabi nowadays. And then we will provide examples from Kidzone 2. Then number 5, slide number 5 will be about Kidzone components and methodology. What are the underlying theories that are behind this kind of syllabus? What are the approaches and methods adopted in this syllabus by textbook designers, textbook writers? Then we'll move on to Kidzone IWP software demo to show you examples completely and using the software and digital resources provided by Kidzone. Then last but not least is bibliography, to give credit to whom credit is due, and then move on to question and answer. And I will be happy to answer your questions. Introducing Kidzone series, as I said, which consists of 6 levels from grade 1 to grade 6. Each level comes out in different color. All of them are very appealing and attractive, seducing, and actually heartwarming, because we're dealing with kids and respect the age category, which makes them age appropriate material. The colors come out in blue and orange and pink and red, as you can see. And the background display is about nature, inspired from scenery like diving, surfing, sea views, etc., which makes it a bit up to date and appealing and trending, unlike other textbooks where you find some, I don't want to say ugly, but just archaic and conventional, very classical background display. So these ones at least come in a very lovable way, and kids will be open and excited to use them, at least from the first glance. Of course, we don't judge a book by its cover, but when we go inside, we find good material that's really substantial and appealing. Basic info about the book. It's published by Hamilton House, which is a combination of from Oxford and Cambridge. It's a British company, and it's a hybrid. They come up with the best things, and now they've been very, very useful now in many parts of the country and of the world. They're being used in England, UK, and Cyprus, Greece, and Morocco, to my knowledge. And this syllabus here will come out from A1 to A2, which corresponds to a level, first level, beginner level, user level of CEFR. As I told you, it's an acronym that stands for the descriptor. It's a scale of proficiency of material that every textbook should apply. And if you know if your textbook is globally recognized and globally accepted and accredited, you will go back to CFR and you will see if it fits within those 3 levels. And we will try to show you how well Kidzone fits in that spectrum or in that framework. Authors are Ruby Devon and Anne Jones, who are British textbook writers, British textbook designers, and date of publication is 2020, which makes it very up-to-date, very trending, and very current, unlike other textbooks that have been used in the market for a long time now. And you could tell that for 20 years, the same textbooks have been adopted in schools, and the information inside becomes obsolete, outdated, old-fashioned, archaic, and I would say even useless for the learner. And in my humble point of view, this brings a bias and injustice to the learner, because it's unfair to talk to the learner about things that happened 20 years ago or 25 years ago that don't apply to his current life and day-to-day practice. CFR definition. It's Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. As I told you, it's a spectrum, it's a framework, it's a paradigm, a scale that rating of proficiency of the material presented or introduced to the learners. Why so? Why do we need to have a look at CFR and see if our textbooks fit in or not? Because we are global, and we're trying to do things that happen in other world, international, not only in Morocco. What are the criteria and the requirements of good proficiency to be good communicators of English? It's not out of the blue, it's not randomly taken, but we have to follow a certain scale. That scale contains levels, 3 main levels. We will see them right now. Beginner level, A1, A2, which means if a kid spends 5 years from age 6, let's say 6 to 12, or 5 to 11, or they will reach A2 if they are good proficient in language when they take a test. Whereas those who spend like more than 6 years, 8 years to 10 years of language, they will be at between B1 and B2. Our baccalaureate students, when they go and take an exam or sit for an exam, IELTS or TOEFL, they barely reach B1 and B2. And even university students, when they go and sit for the exams to join people in the UK and they want to take that exam from the embassy, they barely reach B1 and B2. I remember kids who wanted to join French universities, and when they went and took that exam, I don't know which school it's in French, they barely reach B2. So that's why we are cautious, and we are keen on, when we are concerned about what material we present to our students. If it's globally accepted, globally recognized, if it's internationally accredited material, that will be a sense of pride for us to introduce to our kids. Now, C advanced level is between C1 and C2. That's something else that applies to native speakers or native-like speakers of English. As the diagram shows here, syllabus of Kidzone falls in this category in the area between A1 and A2. Then they move up for B1, B2, C1, C2. That kind of information is pretty crucial and useful to you to know, because sometimes when you go across words or acronyms like CFR, some people don't know what it means. Now, I think you have a clear idea that it's a scale, a spectrum, a framework, a paradigm that rates, measures, assesses, evaluates proficiency of learners. Key features of Kidzone. Number one, exciting profile pages with striking visuals. The visuals and the pages there of the profile are so attractive, well engaging, and sometimes they're personalized warm-up tasks. Then clearly structured, easy to follow lessons, organized to fit the teaching year, which makes them manageable. The content of Kidzone becomes manageable in terms of time frame allotted to English. Let's say the time frame is between 1 hour and 1 hour and a half, between 90 minutes and 60 minutes and 90 minutes. Kidzone would be the best syllabus to recommend for your school because it ranges, it covers the whole year, and I will show you later on in the Bookmap and in the yearly breakdown of the syllabus. It will be clear to you in terms of weeks, how many weeks are allotted or devoted to each unit, and how much time you would spend on assessment, for example, and reviews, etc. All the key grammar and essential vocabulary required for primary school students transparently presented. So grammar will be devoted, will be assigned in a particular column, and kids will be aware of it, and teachers will be aware of how many grammar items they have gone through. So it's all clear, it's all transparent. Fun and achievable activities, developing and practicing all 4 skills. So all 4 skills are being introduced to the kids, and they are integrated in a nice, smooth way, which makes them real and authentic, and which makes language introduced to the students very genuine and real. And stimulating clear pages, focusing on other school subjects, such as math and science in English, which aims at enriching the learner's experience. Now, what's good about this textbook here, this syllabus, is that it exposes students to CLIL, which is a new methodology that comes out, and now it's more trending, more syllabi are trying to adopt this kind of methodology because it combines between English and other subjects. Definition of CLIL is theme-related culture pages that introduce learners to the English-speaking world. We'll come back again to the definition of CLIL and how well they are integrated, and give you and provide you with examples from textbooks in the series of Kidzone. Regular revision sections. Every 1 unit, every 2 units, there is a review. So kids will get the materials or knowledge presented to them. They will recycle it. That recycling, that review, that revision brings up things and activates their schemata, and they will benefit from previous things that they have already learned. Memorable songs and chants and special sing and dance videos. So songs and videos and chants are part of English being for fun, not as a duty. So English here is for fun, not as a duty. Kids will be enthusiastic, excited, and willing, striving to learn because it comes out in rhythm and rhymes. So they will learn lyrics, they will learn those rhythms that will help them pick up language and pick up pronunciation. We'll come back again to phonics later on. In every lesson, there is a phonic section. Special values section in every unit. Values, kids will be exposed to those values, international, global values, like we have so many, like unusual jobs, for example, or career, education, or tolerance, love, respect, sharing. Even sharing is a big value. We neglect sometimes. Many people are ignorant of the importance of and the use of such value as sharing, which sharing, and also integrating in society, volunteering, helping others. All these values will come out through this series of Kidzone. More features. In every syllabus, in every textbook, there is an introductory unit. Always an introductory unit as a warm-up or breaking the ice for students to get used to what they are going to receive. And this is part of the methodology of creating a comfort zone for the learner. If the learner feels comfortable in a good comfort zone, they will be open to what you will tell them, the information you will inculcate to them, the information you will pass on to them. They will take it directly. They will take it with open heart, and they will not refuse it or being hostile to it or resist any information from you. Why? Because you are talking to them about that comfort zone. Comfort zone is that review, that section of warm up, that section of ice breaking in the beginning of the units. It's called introductory unit, or what Stephen Krashen calls theory of lowering affective filter. That affective filter should, as much as it's low, as much as you know that learning takes place. And he focused on three main variables, which are motivation, self-confidence, and anxiety-free learning atmosphere. Then practice for every main lesson in pupil's book in full color. So always colorful, attractive, seducing profiles, fun activities that focus on new language. So if new language is introduced to the students, it's introduced in a funny way. Carefully constructed tasks that are simple for young learners to do as homework. Even the tasks assigned to the students to do as a homework are quite simple. They are carefully built, carefully constructed, and well designed to make it easy for students to do their homework at home with much ease and not as a punishment. Remember the word punishment. We're trying to avoid that word punishment. We give kids tasks that they like, that they are willing to do, that they will find fun in doing. A delightful mix of real life and artwork-based visuals that stimulate young learners. So arts and crafts is part of the syllabus. It involves a lot of doing, a lot of drawing, and it's part of the TPR, total physical response, where students are learning by doing. So that's part of the game too. Actual write-in spaces. In some textbooks, free spaces for writing are missing. How can this kid try or handwrite their answers if there are no spaces for them to write in? So textbook designers thought about it, and they integrated this kind of ideas in their syllabus. Gentle introduction to phonics in carefully graded steps. Phonics, for some people who might not know, is a method of correlating sounds and symbols, a method of correlating or matching sounds and symbols. For example, the letter K, the sound K, can be spelled as K as in cut, K as in kite, K as in coral. So all these features are being explained and exposed to the learners, which makes it a good introduction, good foundation for students to be good speakers of language later on. I told you before about Kidzone and CLIL. CLIL, what is CLIL? For some people who don't know it, CLIL, it's an acronym. It's composed of 4 initials: CLIL, content and language integrated learning. Content and language integrated learning. What does it mean? It's, according to David Marsh, 1994, CLIL refers to situations where subjects or parts of subjects are taught in foreign language with dual focus aims, learning of content and simultaneously learning of English, which means students learn English and at the same time they learn other subjects, like math, science, geography, social studies, etc. They learn them in English and at the same time they learn English. So hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. That's clear. It's now in line with official tendency to prioritize English. English now is gaining more ground, as you know, in Morocco, more visibility. Even government policies are going in this direction. They're trying to highlight and prioritize English to become the main tool of education, main medium of instruction, especially for science subjects like math, science, physics, and geology, etc. So if we adopt CLIL, which this textbook adopts here, it's part of it. It's an integral part of the syllabus, this CLIL. And now many people, many other syllabi are copying after it and are adopting CLIL too. So it's not something new. It's been adopted years before, and now it's part of Kidzone. It's an approach whereby students learn a subject and learn English at the same time. So CLIL is a method or an approach whereby students learn English and other subjects at the same time. Examples of CLIL situations: social studies, for example, social sciences in Unit 1, KZ Kidzone 1, pupils book about transport. I have it here, if you can see with the camera. I have an example from Kidzone 1 here. There is a section, special section called Social Sciences. It talks about transport, different means of transportation, and even imagine kids in Kidzone, just first grade, grade 1, they're being exposed to this kind of material. I mean, these people will be later on very proficient in terms of when you ask them about transport, they will tell you what means they know and what's the difference between each medium of transportation. Health education, Kidzone 6, page 60, pupils book. It talks about health education, health terminology. Kids are being exposed to health jargon. They know nurse, doctor, illnesses, bones, different cures of illnesses and sicknesses. So which makes them like well empowered to talk about health later on if any circumstances come to them. So that's what we're looking for. Math also, clear 3, Kidzone 3, unit 3, page 32, talking to kids about safety, and then calculation of speed. And why do we need to slow down before we reach red light? So all that is provided in Kidzone. Science also, 5 senses, page 86, Kidzone 2. Like here, 5 senses, sight, smell, taste, hear, and touch. And also we can make verbs out of nouns. Sight would be see, smell. Material through the diagram here and through a special section called CLIP for science. Of course, they would be proficient. They would be so good at talking about 5 senses. I bet this material is taught at high school. Now it's introduced since early age, grade 2, grade 1. Skills integration in Kidzone. Remember we talked about skills, writing, reading, speaking, and reading, writing, speaking, and listening. 4 skills are integrated here, as you can see in the diagram here in this picture. Skill, we cannot separate skill from reading. We cannot separate reading from writing. They are all interconnected. And why are they integrated? Why do we insist on integration of skills in Kidzone? It's a combination of activities involving different skills linked thematically. So there is a theme, and we introduce it through different skills, different platforms, and different windows, like skill here, listening, speaking, and reading. They are all integrated, which makes it more efficient and makes it more authentic. Receptive versus productive skills. Some people call them passive, others call them receptive, productive, or active skills. Reading and listening become receptive. Writing and speaking are productive skills. In lesson 1, for example, unit 1, Kidzone 1, we have listen and say, listen and match, write and listen and write, or listen and act. Page 6. Imagine Kidzone 1, grade 1. The kid is 5 years old or 6 years old, and they are exposed to all these skills because the textbook gives them instructions. Listen and say. So we have 2 skills here: listening and speaking. Listen and match, drawing, like physical. Write, also writing. Listen and act, which is good and draws my attention to this kind of instruction here. Listen and act. So they give them instructions and they want them to act, which means totally physical response, TPR, total physical response, learning by doing, acting. Those people who have learning style geared or oriented towards physical movement in the classroom, they will be good at learning. Their learning will be maximized because they are asked to come to the board and act out a role play. So that's the quality, the strength of this textbook here. Imagine lesson 1, Kidzone 1, unit 1. Since the beginning, listen and say, listen and write, or listen and match, and listen and act. Advantages of skills integration: authentic and real life situations, because in real life situations, I said last time, people go out in the street and then sometimes they are asked to read which pharmacy is on duty, So they read, and then they go and ask, if they don't read, they ask people, which pharmacy is on duty now? And then when they go, they listen to other people. So listening, speaking, and sometimes they have to write the address or phone number. So this comes from real life situation. It makes English authentic, genuine, real life. Allows teachers to track students' progress in multiple skills at the same time. So at the same time, we track the progress of student skills in different ways. Since the beginning, promotes learning of real content, not just this section of language form. We're not teaching one particular skill per se for itself, but in combination, in integration with other skills to make it more meaningful. Builds in more variety into the lesson because of the range. There is variety. If there are many skills, there's variety in the lesson, not only one boring, monotonous way of teaching. Can raise learners' motivation to learn English via exposure to a variety of skills. Components now. Components of the book are pupil's book, activity book, teacher's book, flashcards, IWB resources, and then class audio. I hope this will work. Kidzone yearly planning, I will show it to you later on after we finish the presentation. Kidzone teacher's book, what are the main key features? Clearly laid out and easy to follow teaching notes for each unit. Actual pages of the pupil's book embedded in full color for ease of use. So the syllabus, the pupil's book is embedded in the teacher's book. So if sometimes if you don't have your pupil's book or workbook with you or activity book, they will be embedded, they will be included and implicitly contained in the teacher's book. That's an advantage. Especially highlighted aims and materials. Suggestions for using flashcards, starting and ending lessons, using the audio and video resources. All that will be clear in the teacher's book. Instructions are given to teacher to follow very in an easy and fun way. Additional follow-up activities. Quizzes are available. They are provided for you, 8 photocopyable quizzes, 1 for each unit. Each unit is followed by assessment or evaluation in terms of, it comes in the form of a quiz, which takes 10 to 15 minutes. 2 photocopyable progress checks, 1 for each teaching term. Each term is ending by a summative test, or what you call summative test at the end of the term or at the end of the year. And throughout the year, it's called formative assessment, because the objective behind it is to correct the drawbacks, the weaknesses that students might encounter throughout the course. Complete audio scripts and answer keys, activity book, quizzes and progress checks. Pupil's book now. What does pupil book contain? Easy sequencing of content, sequence and progression of the content from the easiest to the most difficult. What we call scaffolding concept, which scaffolding concept means gradual construction of material. It serves as a support for the teacher. When you feel that you are moving from the easiest to the most difficult according to your achievement and your proficiency, of course, that puts you in a comfort zone, as I said before. That lowers the affective filter mentioned by Stephen Krasher in his theory of variables. Exciting and colorful unit pages, very exciting, as I said, very appealing to the students, heartwarming, and you love to learn English this way because it's all about fun. And remember the word fun, not duty, not punishment. Easy to follow, manageable lessons that fit the school year. So the material offered in the syllabus covers the whole year from semester 1 to semester 2 in an easy and smooth way, which makes it very manageable in terms of time frame. What I love most about this textbook here is over to you section leading to learner autonomy. In every unit, there is a section called over to you. Over to you means now it's your turn. Just like switching roles between teacher and learner. The teacher gives the floor to the learner. Imagine teacher giving the floor to the learner and saying, over to you now. And the student will take the role of the teacher and they will conduct the lesson, talking to his student, to his classmates, giving information, personal information, or asking for personal information. When you check it out, over to you is an amazing section that will lead later on to learner autonomy. What do we mean by learner autonomy? Learner autonomy is the, as in diagram here, use learner autonomy is the independence of learning. How does it come through? Through taking responsibility. When student takes responsibility of learning, even though they are in grade 1 or grade 2 or grade 3, I will not bombard them with, I will not send them or teach them material that's irrelevant to them, irrelevant to their context. When they know they're talking about animals, colors, environment, classroom environment, family, that makes them very familiar and very open to learning. So taking responsibility for learning. Self-evaluation also, when you ask students or learner, even grade 5, grade 6, how was English? Did I miss anything? What I taught you useful to you? Do you benefit from my teaching you? Self-evaluation, when feedback comes from learners, that will maximize learning. And also encourages students to find ways that suit their learning. Not always exercise. Sometimes role play, sometimes plays, sometimes projects, and they feel that learning is diversified. There is variety in learning. So as we said here, theme-related Kids Planet. There is also that section of Kids Planet where students identify with the characters, and there is a storyline that they have to follow, and they want to know the progress, development of their characters. Simulating clip pages, songs, and chants, as I said. Activity book now. Introductory unit provides much practice for every main unit in pupil's book in full color. Fun activities that focus on new language. Gentle introduction to phonics in carefully graded steps. As in here, the diagram shows sounds and symbols, which is a method called phonics, where students have to match between sound and symbol. Actual writing spaces for young children. Gentle introduction to phonics. Bookmap now. The bookmap, as you open the book, teacher's book, you'll find the map of the book. This is one copy of it, just one page of it. There is another page, this is from unit 1 to unit 4. And we will see from unit 4 to unit 8. Everything is clear here. Lesson, words, language, phonics, arts and crafts, Kids Planet, and CLIL. 6 sections, 5 or 6 sections that compose the book, and everything is detailed from unit 1 to unit 8. Methodology of Kidzone now. Kidzone adopts an eclectic approach. It's called eclecticism. Eclecticism means selectivity. This methodology is being selective or eclectic. It means a hybrid or a blend of many methods and approaches, and adapt them to fit the need of your learner. Flexible approach to teaching. They are combining between different methods and approaches like CLT, communicative language teaching, ALM, functional approach, CLT. It's a famous worldwide known approach by Jack Richards, 2006. Jack Richards. It means emphasis on interaction as both a means and a goal in study. Combination of interaction, which makes it interaction between teacher and learner. CLT, communicative language teaching by Jack Richards, 2006. ALM, audiolingual method, also focuses on the spoken achievement, the speaking achievement of the learners, focuses more on spoken rather than writing or grammar. And then functional approach is very, very famous, and it's now trending in many syllabi throughout the world because it's very useful and it proved to be very practical. It was invented first in 1983 by Mary Finocchiaro. She's an American psycholinguist. She came up with this approach called functional notional approach. Functions that will be very useful for learners, like giving permission, asking for permission, inviting, declining invitation, asking for directions, asking for permission to go to the toilet, can I? Or asking for permission to attend the club or to join a party or or to go out, athlete. So all those functions are the heart of the matter for me and for other people. Why? Because we are teaching students something they will need, they will encounter, something they will accomplish with language. So as Mary Funikiaro puts it, and I quote, focus on what people can do or accomplish with language. So that's the main target of functional approach. So Kidzone methodology here inspires from all these different approaches and methods. It's very eclectic. It's a hybrid, a blend of many methods and approaches. Examples here, Kidzone 1, 2, 3, and 4 are composed of 8 units each. Each unit starts with an introductory unit, lesson A, lesson B, then words, language, phonics, arts and crafts, Kids Planet, and CLIL. Whereas, however, on the other hand, Kidzone 5 and 6 contain only 6 units, containing bulkier content, review units, songs, CLIL, culture, and extensive reading. Why so? Why there is difference between that part, like Kidzone 1, 2, 3, and 4, having 8, and Kidzone 5 and 6, only 6 units? They are bulkier, more comprehensive, intensive material. Kids have grown up now. They can manage, they can use the language in their own way. They can manipulate and handle their language competencies and skills in a very easy way. More focus is put on, more emphasis is put on extensive reading, which make like short stories or graded passages according to difficulty from easiest to the most difficult. Kidzone learner autonomy, as I said, over to you section in some units promote learner autonomy. We have in page 28, Kidzone 3, pupils book. Learner autonomy, as you can see here. Ideas, tools, and tips. Autonomy, sometimes when we arrive at a particular intersection, we don't know where to turn, right or left. We have to make a decision. What am I going to do with this language? Am I being autonomous, or would I need my mom or my teacher to explain to me? So that kind of independence and learner autonomy is what we are looking after. IWB now, demo lesson, amazing and engaging IW activities, and we'll run the CD-ROM for you to see. All right, so this is the home page. If you can see the home page now of Kidzone, interactive whiteboard. We have this, so pupils book, activity book, Kids Planet, and songs, etc. I picked up this from Kidzone 2 at random, and I wanted to show you examples and concrete illustration of how to use IWP. Let's click on Unit 3, for example, in Hello, in pupils book. This is Unit 3. Just as an example. Yeah, I would pick up on this, for example, Unit 3A, page 36. Click on it, and we will see homepage of Unit 3, Funny Clown. Here, we'll try to listen. Here, listen and read. So we go to listen.
Lesson 3A, a funny clown. 1. Listen and read. Look, what's that?
It's a castle. Come on. She's a queen.
And he's a king.
Is he a king too?
No, he isn't. He's a clown. He's funny.
Look out, Fifi.
All right, and now we have another example of an exercise read and write, where there is a score here, and if you score maximum 3 out of 3, you'll get a reward and reinforcement, and people saying bravo and giving you a hand, which motivates learners to go further with learning. Whereas if you don't answer the questions right, they will say, oh, then you have to try out again. Let's check out, for example, here, castle. Number 2. We'll check out again here. 1. Already done. 1 is a clown. Yeah, we will check out D. He's a king. 1, 2, 3. Then I will check out if it's queen. So queen is here. All right. Then I will check out if my answers are correct or not. 3 out of 3. All right. Then I go back to home page. Now we'll click, for example, on activity book, unit 5, activity book, unit 5 here. Unit 5.3. All right, just for this, for example, write. Garden, butterfly, skateboard, bird, and bee. All right, and here, butterfly. Here, dove or bee, or we call it a bird, just a bird. And the skateboard. And here, B. No, so I have to start again, B. All right, and I have to check again my score. How was it? So here, good. And then I click again. No, not good. I got 4 out of 5, misspelling because of keyboard, etc. Then I go back to home page. If I want to give another example, Kidzone from Kids Planet. Unit 6, page 83 here. Click on it. And then read. So reading. So these are characters of Kids Planet. They will introduce themselves.
Kids Planet. 1. Read. My name's Jenny, and this is my bedroom. There's a bed, a desk, and a chair in my bedroom. There's a bookcase next to the desk. There's a pink carpet on the floor. There are pictures on the wall, and there's a teddy bear on my bed.
All right, enough. And then we go back again here to Klil, for example, as I said, Klil. Show you an example. We have Klil here, 46. Line, so look and read, line, father, mother, line, etc., like family. And the next size or application of what we saw in terms of family, like son and father and son, etc., like cat, kitten, already provided. I will try again with this bear and cub. All right, and then here duck and duckling. Yeah, that's it. So I will check my score. which makes it very funny, very enjoyable for kids, and makes English for fun. And these are engaging activities that kids love so much because of their age category, and they are enhancing, stimulating for teacher too. So I go back again to home page here and click on extras, for example. What's in extras? Like end of the year play. At the end of the year, people are thinking of what to do, what to suggest as activities. Sometimes there is pressure from the administration. They say, sir or miss, where's English? What are you contributing to school? And many people come and ask, and then it's a hassle. It's provided here, and everything is provided in Kidzone. Just click on end of year play. This is Kidzone 2, which makes it great too. And listen and act. It's a play.
End of year play. 1. Listen and act. Scene 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the toy room. We're toys. We live in the toy room. My name's Robbie. I'm a robot.
Hello, my name's Fifi. I'm a fairy. Look, I can dance.
My name's Pete. I'm a pirate. Listen, I can sing.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a toy kangaroo. Look, I can jump.
Etc. Then I'll go back to homepage here and check out songs, what kind of songs we have. All right, we have Unit 5, for example.
Lesson 5C. 1. Listen and chant.
In the puzzle there's a lake, there's a lake. In the lake there's a ship, there's a ship. There's a big red wheel, there's a cool blue train. There are 2 white rabbits in a very fast train. In the puzzle there's a lake, there's a lake. In the lake there's a ship, there's a ship. There's a big red wheel, there's a cool blue train. There are 2 white rabbits in a very fast train.
All right. So as I said, there are many amazing activities, flashcards, games, word search, grammar videos. For example, check out the grammar videos and you'll see. This is another dimension of Kidzone, another perspective. Let's check out anything, just like here, Unit 7, 7A.
Present continuous. Affirmative. I, he, she, it. is cooking. That's right, I'm cooking an omelette.
Mr. Zakur, we can't see your screen anymore.
Tomato. Cheese. Freddie's cooking too. That's right, Lizzie. I'm cooking pizza.
So they show you here kids are involved in pizza making and they are cooking. That's grammar video where students are learning present continuous in affirmative way. I, you, he, she, it. And it's amazing because they see our own students watch that kind of video and they will try to identify, to copy, to do alike. That gives them another variety to the lesson, another spice to the recipe. And they make them more engaged, more involved, more included, and they more cared for. Imagine this is only Kidzone 2, grade 2, and kids are able to come up with such good material in terms of communication, also proficiency. They can make sentences. Why? Because the textbook, the syllabus is engaging, is involving, is introducing students to real life situation, authentic English, where they can practice and use their language they have learned in the classroom. I'm about to be done here. I think it's about time to wrap up, as they say. I hope what I introduced was beneficial and interesting to you. I'd like to hear feedback from you. Of course, there are many questions. Sukaina, for example, here is asking about difference between Kidzone and Top Kids because she attended both presentations and she's asking me, does this make Kidzone more important in involving students than Top Kids? Very good question. I repeat again. Does this syllabus called Kidzone involve learners more than Top Kids? I would let you answer this question and I'll let you draw the conclusion by yourself. I think you can answer this question too, Sukaina. That's totally different syllabus because the time frame allotted to Kidzone is not the same as in Top Kids. Top Kids is light, is not that intensive. The time frame allotted to is around 45 minutes. Here it's about 60 to 90 minutes, which makes the focus and the emphasis, the energy, the effort devoted to teach using Kidzone challenging. Of course, there is more variety, more material. You can see more interactive. Top Kids has its own qualities too. But when it comes to comparing, depending on the target community, who are we targeting? Are we targeting pupils whose time schedule is a bit light, where English is not given that importance, where English is given a slight, short amount of time, or where English is given priority, like in other schools now? We're adopting Kidzone in the many different schools. Time frame is a bit higher. It's around 60 to 90 minutes. And Kidzone fits in very well. It's quite manageable in terms of timing and time allotted to it. What I'm saying here is the focus differs from one textbook to another, and it's quite normal because it depends on the priority of each school. If they want to prioritize, highlight English, give more importance to English, more value, of course they will be recommended to adopt Kidzone. I hope I answered your question, Sukaina. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. Another question here. Well, now I can confirm that it's much better. rich vocabulary and variety of activities. So I think it's next year, your school GM, next year syllabus, inshallah. I hope so too. I hope so too, Sukaina, and I hope that you are convinced and persuaded and also having good arguments to defend your opinion. Now we have seen both, and if you adopt it, you are much welcome. Thank you, Sukaina. Any other question?
I don't think we have questions.
No, this is the last one. Yeah.
We should thank Sukaina for interacting with us.
Yeah, she's been very active, and invite other ones to ask questions if not, and they're being shy. Let's do that again the next time. Yeah. Thank you, Arjan, for being there, and I hope.
Oh, thank you for this very fruitful presentation.
Did you follow everything?
Of course, I followed everything.
I
took notes.
Mute. Yeah.
I took notes and everything. It was on mute because I'm in the
office. Yeah.
Yes, I'm in the office, and it's
okay.
It's not quite.
Another
it's not
question.
Quite.
Yeah. Another chat is here or question. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Sana. Okay. Thank you, sir. So it's a chat and question. That's the only question from Sukaina. Sukaina is very active and dynamic, and she's been very creative and coming up with activities, and her role in the school is crucial and very critical. Thank you very much. We benefit from your experience, Sukaina. Thank you.
Yes. Oh.
All right. Have you recorded the
webinar? Yes, I recorded it, of course.
will it be available?
Yes, it will be available starting this afternoon. If I have time to put it on YouTube,
this evening.
Yes, this evening.
Okay.
I will give you the link so you can share it with your people.
Sure, of course, yeah.
And I will share it on my part. I will try to do some sharing. How can we manipulate such a syllabus to lower our students' affective filter?
Oh, who's asking?
Adnan, Mr. Adnan, and he says, and if so, can this result in a less disruptive classroom?
Oh, okay, yeah, I agree. How can we lower the affective filter mentioned by Stephen Krashen? Yeah, it's true. We can. By involving students and by introducing them, by giving them more say in language, when asking them for feedback, for example, or self-evaluation. Sometimes when I go to a kid and ask him, how's English? Did you learn anything? Did you like it? And sometimes they can be daring and they can put up their hand and say, sir, we did not benefit anything. Or sir, yes, it was good. Or sir, I love to have you in my classes. Sir, you're a great teacher. Like this kind of feedback and reinforcement lowers the affective filter, and it puts them in a very good comfort zone. And if the comfort zone is there, make sure that learning will take place. Learning never takes place in a stressful, anxious, and disturbing environment. If kids feel that they are given much attention, that they are liked, that they have the information they need, the knowledge they need, language is not being on pressure, that they are involved in a very fun way, and teacher gets low profile in class, not always keeps high profile in class. I am the master. I am the master of knowledge. I am the center of attention, center of attraction. I adopt a low profile in class. I move around the rows. I let go of the students. Sometimes one of them can come up and conduct the lesson. And so sometimes one of them can come up to the board and just clean it or write the date or give instructions or ask questions. That kind of role play, role switching roles, trading seats, an American movie, trading seats, the blue place, trading seats, yeah, helps a lot in adopting that low profile and lowering the affective filter. The higher it is, the worse learning is. Remember, the higher the affective filter is, the worse learning will be. So I'm recommending that teachers adopt this kind of low profile. I love it so much. I don't get the attention. I just move around, move with the back, and enable students to feel free, feel stress-free, because then, it's only then, they will open their heart and mind to learning. Thank you, Adnan, for raising this question, very pertinent question, very relevant. Thank you so much.
No worries. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, Fatima, we have here, Fatima is saying, I think that Kidzone can help teacher more because it's rich of activities. They would certainly enjoy it. This is another good teacher. She served with us. She's amazing, fantastic teacher. She's used to be very creative, and I know her personally. She compared, now she's comparing me both. She was using Topkids for some time, and now she's freelance. She's off school now, and yet she can come up to this conclusion, which is Kidzone is richer in terms of activities, and which makes students enjoy it more. Yeah, hopefully, Fatima, I think so. As you can see, we displayed all the activities provided in the syllabus. They are quite easy, simple, and engaging. Even the textbook colors are appealing, as I said, and the technology is diversified. There are many activities the students can enjoy and host and welcome in an easy way. That's a very important parameter in language teaching. When you provide students with what they need, authentic language, authentic English, real life situations, not talking to them about something alien, something irrelevant, not pertinent to what they need, they're not learning. It becomes useless. The example is the outcome of our system of education is now terrible, because when we arrive, when we reach baccalaureate, and or yes, that's what they love. They cannot engage in a communicative way. Why? Because we missed the basics. Ever since we were introduced in school, the foundation was not appropriate. There was something wrong. These people, you've seen them, the British people, English people, and other and foreigners. They introduce an ample potential to their students. They engage them. They make them love the language. They make them interested in attending attending school, not dropping out of school. In our country, drop out is very high. Why? Because of this. Because what we're talking, we are inculcating, passing, transferring knowledge that's alien, irrelevant to our students. They don't find it in the environment. Whenever they need to communicate with others, they stumble. They get stuck. There's somebody with them, because there is no learner autonomy in what we teach them. No learner independence. We don't provide them with tools and ways and means to survive in a community by themselves. We don't tell them how to ask permission, how to decline invitation, how to give directions, how to talk about themselves. They're introducing personal information. Sometimes they miss it. Even age, you say, how old are you? They say 2021. I said, I didn't ask you about the date or the year. I asked about how many years do you have? How old are you? How old are you? And they cannot answer this question. This is middle school. There's a lot to say about this. Another question coming from Fatim Zarafillet. Yeah, another great teacher too. Thank you so much for this webinar and for all this great information. You're much welcome, Fatima, and other people. You are all welcome. Thank you for not missing out this time, and hopefully, alhamdulillah, everything is clear, and we don't keep information from people. We try to share information. That's our main mission. All right.
All right, if there are any more questions, I think it's time we say goodbye.
Okay, of course, yeah, time to say goodbye. It's very hard. We learned so many things and shared so many things.
Yes, but I learned so many things.
Thank you, Hajar, for being there
Thank
too.
you so
It's really a pleasure.
Yes.
And thank you guys for attending, and see you next time, inshallah. Hope the webinar was very beneficial and interesting, useful to you. Thank you again, Fatima. Thank you, Fatima Zarafillah. Thank you, Zukaina, Adnan, and others whose names I don't recall now. But generally speaking, it was fun. It was a big success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hajar. And goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Yeah.